Let's move outside Nigeria, where we've seen super spreading events in India, with a single infected person infecting many others in a short time. Now, almost all of these infections have happened indoors and involve large groups gathered in poorly ventilated spaces. Clearly, there is a need to pay attention to ventilated spaces. So, what was we begin to do to ensure cleaner air, and can every business afford this as people return to mixing at work, dining at restaurants, and others? Well, the United Kingdom is currently transitioning through eased restrictions with plans to lift this finally by June the 21st. Well, Dr. Douglas Iyala-Pepple is a GP specialty registrar who joins us from the UK. Well, first, let's talk to the latest figures coming out of the UK. No death was recorded across the UK yesterday, but then that joy was short-lived with 12 new deaths today. Well, the last time the UK recorded over 10 deaths was over a week ago. So how are you interpreting these figures?
Hello. So thank you for having me. So to be honest, I think for yesterday it was quite a very impressive news, talking about the zero rate of death from COVID-19. It was quite celebrated, and we thought maybe we'll move in from the conversation where we're talking about infectivity and death rates up to, vaccination rate, and even to immunity rate, which should be the peak of the whole conversation. But unfortunately today we registered a number of deaths as well. But I think in general, it seems like the UK is gradually coming out of the effect of COVID-19 with the ease of lockdown. However, obviously there has to be caution, and even though people have been optimistic, but like the Prime Minister said, it's a time to be optimistically cautious, and that's what everyone should be doing at this point.
It's quite a challenge because a lot of people are excited that at least there's some measure of freedom. So it might be quite tricky when it comes to being optimistically cautious. But let's talk about the Prime Minister's confidence that lockdown will be lifted finally in 3 weeks. Some are advising the government that there are signs that the UK is in early stages of another wave, so they think there should be another lockdown. The talk about being optimistically cautious and there needs to be another lockdown. Where do you stand in this continuum?
Yeah, so the thing is, the reports of the scientists is something that doesn't really spell doom and gloom. Depends on the interpretation anyways, and the Prime Minister, I believe, is handling it very, very diplomatically. He has come out to say there is no need for people to become maybe apprehensive now. The roadmap to easing the lockdown hasn't changed, although the report from the scientists is a bit of, a snapshot of based on information they've gathered at the point. So it's just for people to begin to take extra responsibilities. And if you look at the statistics in the UK, for instance, a country of about 60 million people, you've got about 40 million already having the first dose of the COVID jab, and about half of the population having the second dose of the COVID jab. So it means we're getting to the level where we have a better form of immunity, I would say, especially protecting the vulnerable and even the health workers. So that brings us close to the point where we can internally fight against the virus, and life can actually return to normalcy. So talking about, third wave, I think if we go ahead with what we're doing so far, it's possible that we can avert that possibility.
Well, possibilities, and I like that you choose the bright and positive one. But I'd like to thank you so much, Dr. Iyala-Pepple. And that message about being cautiously or optimistically cautious is quite important. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.